When a survey recently came out that exclaimed 63% of people believe that they only trust themselves to manage their retirement savings, and about 8% of the people surveyed trusted big banks, I was like, goddamn. So the question in this video is, are big banks trustworthy? Can you trust your bank? And what is the value of having a healthy relationship with your bank when it comes to your personal finances and your wealth creation? We're going to cover that in this video. Probably one of the most important topics and the foundation of this entire channel is relationship banking. So I'm going to be covering this as somebody who works for a major financial institution, has worked for them for over 10 years, has been in the financial services industry for over 13 years, and has personally built and developed their personal finances as well as a small business that has been centered around managing my banking relationship and working with financial professionals. So I'm going to give you some insight on this. As you can see from the thumbnail, this is actually a poll that I conducted on my channel. It wasn't taken by a ton of people, but the people who did take it overwhelmingly matched the survey data that I have down here that's exclaiming, in my particular case, over 88% of people who took my survey either had leery views on banks or completely distrusted banks. I'm going to take this from the perspective of banks versus credit unions, because most people, believe it or not, have a healthy perspective on credit unions. And I want to give you context on the value of each, but I also want to give you a curveball on why your distrust in big banks and your high level of trust in credit unions may be a little bit misleading or can lead to you not growing financially or productive as you could be financially when it comes to your personal finances and navigating those two relationships. So we're going to start this off by giving context. The first thing is, credit unions are not-for-profit and member-owned institutions. Banks are for-profit and serve shareholders. Huge distinction right there. We're going to get into that in a second. Credit unions have lower fees and more personalized services. Banks have broader networks. Membership requirements still exist for credit unions, but have become more inclusive. So big banks are obviously going to be a lot more accessible because anybody that can qualify for their basic criteria can get in. Credit unions are typically serving specific communities of people. Both have tremendous benefits. Before I dive into this and breaking this down and translating this over to your personal finances and your overall wealth and how all this connects, I need to put out some immediate context. Every single relationship in life is based on understanding and trust. If those two things aren't in place, I don't give a damn if it's family members, loved ones, lovers, co-workers, business partners, banks, financial institutions, medical field. I don't give a damn what it is and where it is. If you don't have a relationship of understanding and trust, it is going to fail. You're spinning your wheels and it's going to fail. You will not build anything in that relationship of value. Banks are exceptionally misunderstood. Big banks, private banks are as common as they are, they're exceptionally misunderstood. I want to be abundantly clear. I'm not saying by any means that big banks and private institutions like private firms of big banks have been the most trustworthy, credible entities on the planet by any means. Some of the bloodiest, atrocities in the world have been funded and financed and pushed by big banks. So I get it. But when we're talking about mainstream personal financial function, economic activity, there's no way to truly develop healthy personal finances and build real wealth without functioning through the banking system. I don't give a damn what fancy life insurance products that are pushed out there and other infinite banking and bank on yourself strategies, which I am a proponent of, by the way. I personally use these strategies. I've had life insurance policies for that purpose for over 5 or 6 years now. So I'm not demeaning them. What I'm saying is that somebody who understands that and still uses those products understands the value of banking relationships and credit union relationships and understanding how to build them. You absolutely have to develop a level of trust with your financial institution if you want to win with them. And that trust comes from understanding. Real communication comes from understanding. I can't communicate if I don't understand your language. And that is the number one reason why there's a huge distrust with banks. People don't understand how banks work. They don't understand the baseline of what banks are looking to accomplish, why they're even in the marketplace, and they don't understand the language that banks communicate in. So if you don't understand the language of money, you don't understand why banks are in it, what they're in it for, and what they're looking to accomplish, then you're not going to understand the decisions they make, why they treat you the way they treat you, why they don't give you certain things, why they do certain things to you, why they don't give you access to certain things. If you don't have that understanding, then you can't build trust. So I wanted to put that context in place as I go into explaining credit unions versus big banks and why both are vitally essential and where they can help you grow financially, where they can help you develop your personal finances, small business finances, and where they can help you grow and develop on the banking side of things, okay? Credit unions being non-for-profit and member-owned. What that basically means, and I also covered a video, or plan to cover a video, about how big banks are actually lobbying to try to disrupt the way credit unions function. I may have shot that video already, or I plan to shoot that video. But anyway, credit unions are member-owned. That means you immediately have a stakeholder position in that financial institution once you become a banking client of them. It's a powerful thing. Even though credit unions may have hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of members, you may be a teardrop in the bucket, you are still the stakeholder of that financial institution. That means your stake in that financial institution, your well-being, is priority. Personal, private financial institutions, rather, are the opposite. There are actual investors in those financial institutions. And because of that reason, they are subservient to that group of people, those investors and stakeholders, to the best of their ability in conjunction with you as a bank client. But trust me, if they need to serve their shareholders and pick between you and the shareholder, 9 out of 10 times they're going to pick the shareholder, because that's where the money that is keeping them operational and put them in existence is coming from. Credit unions are the opposite. Credit unions are literally in existence and maintained by you as a stakeholder / member. So they get to take the money that they make, the profits that they make, and reinvest the bulk of that back into you. Whatever's not going into the functionality and the operation of that credit union, revenue-wise, is going back into you as the member, which allows them to have better rates to pay you, better rates when you borrow, making it cheaper for you to borrow, and gives you better and more diverse personalized products based on your needs. So there's going to be a lot more product diversity. This is why credit unions are phenomenal to start your financial journey, to start your small business journey, to start building credit, because they're going to have that diverse entry-level set of products that will allow you to lean on something that you may have going on that lower level. If you don't have a ton of money, ton of income, ton of revenue, established credit already, they're going to have the products and services you need to develop your finances from the ground up. They are phenomenal seed-based financial institutions, resources. Credit unions are great to start with. They are phenomenal. I encourage it. And I encourage it for established individuals as well to park your money in a safe way and get treated really well without having to have a ton of money there. You can put 5, 10, 15, 20,000 in a credit union and get treated like royalty. You put 5, 10, 15, $20,000 into a Chase Bank, a Bank of America, a Wells Fargo, a Goldman Sachs. Good luck if they remember your name. Now, on the flip side of that, this is what's important. Big banks are phenomenal for growth and a broader network of access. That is a game changer, because credit unions are great to start with, but they're extremely limited once you grow. When you get to a certain net worth, you have different financial needs. Once you get to a point where you have certain income, revenue, your family becomes a certain size, your ambitions become a certain size, your business or real estate investing needs become a certain size, credit unions are out. I mean, completely. Even the best in the country, like a Navy Federal, is out. They have very limited business products, very limited real estate investing products, hell, even limited products for your personal residence needs, as far as if you want to buy like a really, $1 million home, etc. Credit unions are out. They're not designed for that. And that's why I say it's very important for you to understand where you are financially and who's going to serve you the best with your personal finance. I've covered dozens of videos on this topic, discussing the difference between credit unions and big banks and the value of each. You cannot get so mesmerized by the great service and the product diversity and the stake interest that they have in your financial well-being at credit unions and let that hypnotize you, because big banks are much difficult in the onset of those relationships. There's nothing like the experience you will get at big banks once you have a certain financial position. And many of you may be there or on your way there or have ambitions to be there. Credit unions cannot serve you once you get to a certain income, net worth, deposit relationship level, lending needs. They can't help you. Your retirement investing needs, they will start to come up short. Credit unions are not designed for wealth management capabilities. So when you have a decent retirement, a decent nest egg, a decent 401k IRA, broker size, they can't help you. And it is important for you to understand that and not think just because they treat you extremely well when you had nothing, that you're supposed to, once you get to upper 6-7 figures and beyond in your net worth or your lending needs, your borrowing needs, your deposit needs, your retirement needs, that you're going to still give that business to credit unions because they treated you so well when you didn't have anything. It's not that type of relationship. I'm sorry. I know that that's like a really romantic novel and it sounds great. It makes you feel warm and fluffy inside, but it is not how that really works. You have to graduate up to where you're going to be served the best. And you really need to be doing that across the board in your life, to be honest, but that's a different conversation. This ain't a dating channel or whatever the case may be, or your personal relationship channel. It's a finance channel. And you need to understand that you will outgrow credit unions. I've said it so many times. I mean, literally over 600 videos over the course of 2.5 going on 3 years. I've covered this in every era of this channel. You will outgrow credit unions. You better outgrow credit unions. If you want to really grow financially and keep up with the economic shifts and changes, build real wealth and generational wealth is the hot, sexy term, you have to outgrow credit unions. And that's where big banks shine. Trust me, that credit union experience is waiting for you at big banks once you get to a certain net worth, deposit relationship, business needs, lending needs, real estate investment portfolios, stock and retirement portfolios. When you get to that 6 and 7 figure mark, 150,000, 250,000, 500,000, $1 million and above, banks will start to treat you like credit unions treat you. They will start to remember your name. They will start to dedicate their financial professionals to you one-to-one. They will start to learn your needs in and out. They will start to plan for you, plan ahead with you. They will start to strategically help you do wealth planning, legacy planning, estate planning, tax planning. They will help you build your wealth. They will literally put an ecosystem and system around you that you can't imagine, that credit unions can't even begin to touch. Very important to understand that you can trust financial institutions based on the financial level you're at. If you are at that zero net worth, negative net worth, 3-figure, 4-figure, maybe even mid 5-figure range on your deposit relationships, your income, net worth, retirement assets, lending needs, credit unions are where you need to be for now. Start the seedlings with big financial institutions. Don't wait until you have those needs to go in. Start those relationships small. Small savings account, credit card with them. Start with these big banks early if you have goals on getting to those financial positions. But credit unions are where the predominant base of your financial means need to be if you have that bracket I just laid out. Negative net worth, zero net worth, 3, 4, 5 figures in net worth. Credit unions are going to be where you need to be to build your financial baseline. If you are at that upper 5, 6 figures and above net worth, retirement assets, real estate portfolio, income, net worth, if you're at that point where you have demonstrated upper 5, 6 to 7 figures in value to a bank, I promise you big banks are where you need to be, undoubtedly. And trusting them to manage your assets, your resources, the network and the net worth advantage of big banks is unmatched. Brick and mortar big banks is unmatched. Trust me when I tell you, you don't understand. You haven't been there already? I do this for a living. I am a private client bank. I work with 6-figure clients and 7-figure clients. I'm a business banker. I work with 5, 6, and 7-figure businesses in revenue and cash flow and banking relationships. I am telling you firsthand that the services, benefits, and resources, what's poured into you on a big bank level when you get to that point is unmatched. The trust that you'll be able to have and that they will work to establish with you is unmatched. Credit unions will not even knock on the door. They won't even sneeze in that direction because they're not designed to. Not because they're trying to compete and can't compete. They're not designed to. They're designed to serve the everyday base level, working class, mainstream individual. Their communities that their memberships are based on are those group of people, and thank God for them. They are a phenomenal godsend to the economic and financial system. I pray that they continue to stay in place and continue to grow. But that having been said, big banks are a godsend when you have real financial assets. Upper 5, 6 figures and above, 7 figures and above, 8 figures, it's not even up for debate. Banks are absolutely premier relationships and network resources that you need to truly grow and manage your wealth. I don't give a damn what way you built your wealth legitimately. Banks are going to help you. They are a tremendous asset. I promise you. They are at the crux of our economy and at the center of money transferring in our economy. If anybody knows how to manage real wealth, how to help you establish, grow, that's where banks really make their money. People get it effed up. They think big banks make their money from poor people and fees. God, nothing could be further from the truth. Real wealth is created by banks with real wealthy people. And when you become one of those people, trust me, banks know how to treat you. Trust me when I tell you. But I wanted to cover this because this is a poll that I ran on my channel. It was a tremendous poll. I'm going to shout out to my team for coming up with this, because I actually didn't even come up with that particular poll. And it got great results, even though it was a small group of people it reached. It led to this conversation. It led to this video. Tremendous value. When I tell you that true financial wealth is in the banking system, it's at the center. It centers itself at the banking system. I can't cover that enough on this channel. So comment down below. Let me know how you feel about big banks versus credit unions. Do you trust big banks? Do you trust them to manage your assets and your resources? Are you somebody who rather manage them on your own? You hate big banks. You don't trust them. You love credit unions. Comment down below and keep the conversation going, because I trust me, I get it on all ends. But I'm here to educate you beyond that, because I want to see you grow, and I want to see you grow where you're supposed to be growing and serve best and treat it best. So comment down below. Let me know your stance on big banks, your trust with them, where your resources are, where your net worth is, where that money's being held, where that net worth is being managed. Comment down below. To all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. I want you to like, comment, share, subscribe, support down in the comments in the channel section down below. There's supers. You can leave super thanks. You can leave thanks. You can leave ways to support this channel when you've gotten real value from it. Leave real value back to this channel, because this channel will continue to support and reinvest back into you. That I promise you. Comment down below. Other than that, get in the description section. Connect with me on Instagram, on a business Instagram for the channel and my personal Instagram. Comment down below, or get in the link in the description down below. Get on Instagram and let me know you're there. I will tie you into my personal and the business Instagram, the channel's Instagram, so we can continue to grow out our committee of pioneers there, inspire each other, and share quality information, wins, and lessons learned. Other than that, as always, I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.